Let the crowd begin. Seamless.
Hello, so good to see all these happy faces. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. So lovely to have you. We've got quite a few joining. Welcome to our session this evening or this morning, depending on where you are in the world. I'll just wait for another minute or two until we get everyone in, and to respect everyone's time, I will start as quickly as possible so that we can finish on time, because I know a number of us have meetings at the top of the hour, so we won't drag this on. We've got a lot to get through in an hour. I hope that you don't hear too much background noise from me. There's a rainstorm here, and I have one of those roofs that makes a lot of noise. So hopefully it's not loud. All right. While you're coming on in and waiting, just another 30 seconds, hop into the chat where you're from. It'd be lovely to know where everyone is from this evening. Paris, Zurich, Victoria. Oh, glad you can't hear my rain. Stockholm, New South Wales. Oh, Ireland. Hi, Damien. Kelly. Hello. London, Buckinghamshire. Not so sunny London. Okay. Fabulous. Philippines. Newcastle. India. So lovely to have you. Isn't it wonderful how we can all be here from all different continents? We ran this exactly the same session this morning, my time, at 7 a.m. And we actually crossed the 3 continents. So we had the UK, it was late at night for them. We had people from America, and we had the Australia group as well. So it was really quite cool. All right, we're going to get started. And like I said, I respect everyone's time. My goal is to finish at the top of the hour. So we're going to get stuck into it now. First of all, who am I? For those of you who don't know me, I'm Aveline Clark. And of course, I'm the founder of 6 Star Business. I happen to run the 6 Star Business podcast. Now, if you haven't heard of it or heard an episode, please check it out. There's probably a couple of guests who've been on the podcast on this call as well. It's been going for, oh my goodness, it's coming up to 2 years. It's very rewarding. I'm the founder of Journey Point, is my other business, and I'm a lover of nature, people, and living life authentically. I feel very honored and blessed to be in this position. I'm only as good as the people around me. And you'll notice that there are a number of people with these colored backgrounds, and I'll tell you about them in a tick. So these people make up, I guess, what I call the core team, the people around me. We came together because most people here put a chapter into a book we published in November 2021 called How to Be a 6 Star Business. And since then, we've just connected, and organically over time, we've learnt what it means to collaborate, not just on a friendly basis, but also in business as well. And over time, as the 6 Star movement progressed, it wasn't something, by the way, that I set out to create. It just kind of happened. And this movement happened. And the conversations that I was hearing in the podcast were all about things about business that were far beyond what you currently might experience. And we talk about collaboration, but not in a transactional way, in a way that, imagine what life would be like if you had people around you who actually had your back. Like they were like your family. Like you go to work and they're your family. Well, that's who these people are. They're amazing. If you know of them, wonderful, lucky you. If you don't, please reach out to them. And if I've got a bunch of them here tonight, they're around the world. We've got people in the US, UK, Europe, and Australia. If you want to, guys, drop your LinkedIn links in so people can connect with you. They're always up for a chat because we always want to connect with like-minded people, people that care, people that want to do business differently. So they've been a big part of my journey over the last 2 years. This event, actually, no, we'll do some boring housekeeping first. Please turn off distractions. That's mobiles, computer notifications, dog barks if you can. Be open to the new. Have an open mind. Be ready for new insights. Engage and connect with us. We're going to have a breakout session, and that's a lot of fun. You'll get to meet new people, and we encourage that. And you'll meet new people, and I want you to have some time to meet new people. And also, we'll come back together. We'll open the room up. We'll have a bit of talk as well. Please use the chat to ask questions. I don't mind if someone interrupts, but I've got a lot to get through. So it's best if you put questions in the chat. Remini and Chris will answer them. If there's any leftover questions at the end, I can get to them then. And the slides will be made available if you want them. You'll see this little thought bubble here. Write these down throughout my slides. And that's my little guide to you that this might be something that you might want to write down. I want you to take something new away from this tonight. I'd love you to get something from this that really does help make you think, gives you something tangible, but also inspires you to create a 6-star business. So use your pen and paper or your notepad, whatever you've got, and get the most out of this, please. Now, the fact that you're here, I've made a big fat assumption, that you want a 6-star business. I like calling out assumptions, and I don't like making them generally, but that's my assumption. So everything is based on you wanting to have a 6-star business. We ran an event in December, and a lot of people came to that event and asked us a lot of questions. We got a lot of information. We did some polls, and for those of you here that attended that, it was really amazing. And since then, we've had more conversations with people who've asked, when's the next one? When is the community opening? What are you doing? And so we are following through on that promise that here's the February event. We're now ready, and we want to help you create a 6-star business. Before I go to the next slide, you might be asking, well, why 6-star business? What does it really mean? One of the foundational principles of 6-star business is purpose. We talk about purpose, love, and impact. And if someone was to ask me what my why is or my purpose for doing this, it's to create a better world, actually, a better world for us as entrepreneurs and a better world for our teams, our families, our staff, our communities, our customers. And that means doing business differently. Some people call it being more human. Some people call it being more purposeful. Everyone has their own definition. I want to play for you now.
Invest in taking that.
Sorry, I'm just going to play for you now a 1-minute clip. This is a mashup of some of our recent podcast episodes over the last 2 months so that you can get a sense of the flavor of how people talk about being 6-star, and just to get you to understand that all the different facets of what 6-star means. Okay, it's a great entryway into this broader conversation tonight. So I'm just going to hit play.
An extra time to nurture those relationships.
5-star hotel, well, what's a 6-star hotel? And I think there's a transition between doing the way that we do business today. So I think there's probably 5A and 5B before we get to 6-star.
Nobody is perfect, but you are perfectly yourself. No one can do you better than you.
6-star means questioning and always being inquisitive, being curious, but also believing in yourself.
If in our businesses, we are holding on to these very strict ideas and frameworks and structures of how business should be done.
Business wants us to be machines. It wants us to work. There's such focus on productivity.
People want to live in the positive way. People don't want to be criticized. People don't want to challenge themselves enough that they will feel miserable, that they will feel not good enough about themselves.
For most jobs these days, collaboration gives you far greater benefit. Right. We don't want to exclude anything that is really important to us along the journey, like family.
I know was I'd lost my connection to purpose, why we were doing what we were doing.
Invest.
So, what is a 6-star business? So we've done a lot of research. I'd say 18 months of this when we started to get into these conversations. So there's been 117 of them with 170 people. We've consulted with hundreds of business owners, and tons of businesses have put elements of these into their business and seen results, and they share with us what it actually is. We distilled down what 6-star is into these little wordings here in yellow. Feel free to write any of these down, take a screenshot if you like. Going beyond the status quo, bringing our purpose to our work, looking beyond the bottom line, not operating at the expense of other people or the planet, finding joy and meaning in your work, demonstrating humanity, doing things differently, creating meaningful experiences, being authentic. These might feel or sound fluffy, intangible, but actually they're quite big in themselves. And they're not that easy that you just suddenly go, well, today I'm going to go beyond the status quo and I'm going to be able to measure that. And that's going to somehow bring me to 6-star. There's a lot of foundational work that happens first before you can naturally get to these things. Yet all of these things are what shine as ingredients of a 6-star business. And let's get further into, I guess, what that means to you. So in December at the event, we asked everyone at the 2 events, what did they think were the biggest barriers to having a 6-star business? And from the results, there were 65 respondents, and these were our answers. So 76% said not having a supportive network of aligned collaborative partners was the reason as the biggest barrier to having a 6-star business. The next biggest barrier, or the next biggest one in terms of the people that said that was a barrier, people's limiting beliefs and paradigms. So mindset. 68% said not having the right people inside the business. 60% said someone's personal purpose isn't identified or aligned with the business. 56% said processes and structures are clunky and inefficient. 36% said following the status quo and copying everyone else. 32% said not having the right product, selling to the right customer. And 16% said they're not sure what the issues are, but it's something. I've circled these top ones because anything above the 50% of the people there is something worth looking at. And I have to say, this didn't surprise me, but it actually excites me because I know and I've seen this shift in businesses, and I know that this is all doable. Some of you now might be looking at these and going, yeah, I get that. Yes, I'm experiencing that. Yes, that's true for me. So what would it mean to you if you had these barriers, but you were able to overcome them? It's one thing to have a barrier. It's another thing to overcome it. And then, of course, starting to put the building blocks in place to reaching 6-star. So I'm going to run a quick poll now. And the first question is, how would you feel if you had overcome these barriers to creating your 6-star business? I'm just going to launch this now. So please jump in and choose out of the 5 options which one reflects how you would feel. So this is a feeling thing. It's emotive. Interesting. Thank you. The answers are coming in really quickly, which is great. We're getting almost to the end. Almost everybody has answered. A few more left to come in. Okay, we are almost there. One more. Who are you? I know you're there. Okay. Let's end the poll. I'll share the results. There we go. 33% over the moon. 36% said extremely relieved and excited. 21% said very relieved and happy. I wonder if it makes a difference what time of day we ask these questions, because this morning the answers were actually a little bit different. Most people said over the moon, and it was only a very small percentage that said extremely relieved, but that was it. It was split between those two. So that's really interesting. Bottom line is you're going to feel a lot better when you overcome them. And when we feel better, we can make better decisions. We can be more creative. We can start creating. All right, next quick question for you. What would be the first area that you would fix in order to create your 6-star business? Now, I've got a bunch of options on the screen. Just expand your pop-up window if you can't see them all. Otherwise, just scroll down. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options. Grow my network of collaborative partners, processes and systems, purpose alignment, culture adjustment and alignment, update the products and assets mix, people alignment, marketing, messaging and positioning, myself, my internal mindset, or other. Please enter into the chat. So this is the first thing that you would fix. Okay. So you can only choose one. Once you've chosen that first thing, hit submit. It'd be great to see what everyone's item is. And if you do choose other, could you please drop that into the chat? Okay, we've got a few more to go. Just waiting on a few more. Here we go. They're coming in. Couple more. All right. Great. Here are the results. The top one, grow my network of collaborative partners. So interesting. The next highest one is marketing, messaging, and positioning. And then the third highest one is myself, my internal mindset. I mean, just in that, we could have an hour-long conversation just about those three things. Easily, maybe a 3-hour conversation. But, you know, it's so interesting that they are the top three. They were also this morning. They were.
Av, we've also got a couple of comments through Agnes saying, I'd educate others about the fundamental need of doing business differently. That's why we lack collaborative partners in the first place. And Bella says, not sure if this comes under people's alignment, but client alignment as well.
Okay, very interesting. I love that. Yeah, so that's assuming that you've got the foundations of the business set up and you've got your vision and your purpose and you know why you're in business. Then the alignment comes in after that. So I guess we're all at different stages of business. And so we're going to typically choose different things, but it's interesting that these ones seem to be the top three regardless. Fabulous. Thank you. All right. Let me just get rid of that. Now, this is the fun stuff. We're going to go into breakout rooms and you guys are going to chat for 15 minutes. You're going to answer the question, what is the one thing that you know you need to focus on that will help you move you closer to creating a 6-star business? I invite you to be open, connect, engage, have fun. We'll have a message, a broadcast message when there's a minute left. The person that presents, so when you come back into the room, we're going to open it up and then one person from each group will be the spokesperson or the presenter and share with us what was the key thing that came out of that conversation. It could be just a couple of things or it could be one main thing. Okay, and the presenter is the person with the next birthday. So figure out who's got the next birthday and then come back in. It's a lot of fun. Look, you're going to meet new people and I encourage you to meet them. But remember, this is not trying to sell your business thing. This is let's chat about this. And if you have a connection with someone, by all means, connect with them on LinkedIn and arrange a coffee chat, a Zoom chat later. So we're going to get the breakout room sorted now, and you should get a pop-up on the screen and just go into the room. And I will see you all when you come back. Have fun. Okay. Hello. Hi, Debbie. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Wonderful. So everyone will be coming back in a flurry very shortly. I'm looking forward to this. It's always interesting what comes out of these conversations. Wow. Hello. Welcome. Now you get to see everyone in front of you. Your beautiful faces. I hope you had fun. And this morning there was complaints that the 15 minutes went by and it was only like 5 minutes. So I know the feeling, like you're in the flow and you're talking and it's really good. And then all of a sudden you get well, we've got to leave in 12 seconds. Oh my God. And then you feel like you've got to keep talking. So apologies for that. But I need to get through and we've got to get to the top of the hour. So this is the fun part. Ange, do you want to drive? So what we're going to do is get your presenter from each group, and Ange is going to call out the room number, and we'll ask for the presenter of that room to share the highlights just for a minute.
Amazing. Okay, so we'll go from the top. So we've got room 1, which was Damien, Kelly, Richard, and Harris. Richard and Steve. Who was the next birthday in the presenter?
Richard.
It's me. People extraordinarily had their birthdays the day before yesterday, because I was reluctant to present. So I'm not sure if I'm speaking to the others. What I said was that I don't understand what it is we're proposing. In that sense, yes, I agree with the objectives. It's great to be in a group of people that want to be better, do better. But as I said, play the devil's advocate, it's what the people of Scientology tell me when they stop me in the street, or so I would like to understand more what it is, and not find myself surrounded by people who basically seem to be trying to create similar networks. They're network creators coming to produce a bigger network about leadership and morality. So I have nothing wrong with it. I just don't understand it.
Really good points. And that could be a whole other topic conversation. But I love that you've brought out that different view.
And I did say to Richard that we have a secret handshake, but we won't disclose it yet.
But he won't tell it to me.
Yeah. This is not a cult. Repeat after me.
Okay.
Then we've got room 2. So that's Alan, Arcot, Bill, and Joanna. Who's presenting from you guys?
All I got from everybody were the late in the year birthdays, and I thought, okay, that's got me stuck in there. So I was honest instead of lying. I could have gone the other way. But well, when we talked about what was the number one thing that I needed to focus on, the same as each of the others did the same thing, we're all different in what we need. And there was things like the refining our offer and the audience. Getting the right attributes, of getting our purpose aligned, or in the case of getting the right sort of collaborators. But one of the things that we realised is that in each of those, we've got our own interpretation of what those words are and facilities, and each of us would have a different idea of that. So when we talk about collaboration, for instance, it's finding people who understand what we understand about collaboration. You'll notice I didn't say understand what collaboration is, because that's saying that I do and that the other person doesn't. It's our interpretation of it that they align, and how to then build those relationships, find out more about them and build on that, so that we then have our ideas of what the collaboration is, but then bring it together. So now we just understand things equally, and that way we can then cooperate and work together more effectively.
I love the magic that these conversations make, and what comes out of these conversations and these chats. And Alan, what you've just raised is absolutely brilliant, because it really is, we are all different. And one of the key ingredients to collaborating, to being successful in business, is being able to accept and hold the space for everyone's differences. And that also means that their interpretation of that as well. So brilliantly said. Thank you.
Okay, so next up we've got room 3, which is Frank, Peter, Sean, and iPhone. Sorry, trying to see who hears the iPhone. But who from room 3 was the designated speaker?
I am. I think in our group, what we sort of agreed, similar to the previous group, is that we all have different needs and we all started in different spaces. But I think what's important is to have that internal alignment with yourself in terms of what purpose you want to achieve and how you're going to go about doing that before you seek finding alignment externally. And this is kind of where it comes down to having some clear messaging and alignment on the shared values, beliefs, purpose, and other intent that will help people move through. So I think a lot of us are aware the phase of trying to really create that alignment with externally and find our connections and alignment with others.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Frank.
Perfect. We've got room 4, Agnes and Chris and Jacob.
Well, that was that was me by 3 days, and I thought, you know, I've got a birthday in a week's time, so I thought I was guaranteed it was going to be me. But anyway, we had a fascinating conversation. And along very similar lines, to be honest. The core of it was around collaboration and how you work together and how you build people that advocate for you. And that is a way of growing your business and growing your sales, obviously. But what came out of it was that in order to get the right people to advocate for you and for them to advocate properly, they need to understand your purpose, mission, and values. So having that piece right up front is absolutely key to really successful collaboration, really successful sales and business growth.
Yeah, that's gold. Thanks, Chris.
I love that. All right, we got room 5, which is Atul, Faris, Kelly, and Royston. Who's
Well,
up from you?
I did try to not be the spokesperson because I usually am. But Atul had his birthday yesterday and I was like, you're it. And he said, no, it's past. And then someone else was 2 weeks ago. And then I'm in May and the next one's September. So I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, so happy to be here. Now, we had a lovely chat from all over the world we were. And one of the things that sort of talked about first was I tried to stick with the question, which was about what's the thing we feel like our business would need most of to become 6-star. And it was interesting because one of the things that I thought I should have is more process. And then I was like, but will I actually do that? Is that something I'm going to do in my business? And I thought, you know what? No, it's not. So then I came to the marketing, the marketing and branding thing. And so as we went around the room, it was the same for 2 of the others, marketing and branding, but Atul was talking about mindset, but it wasn't really about mindset. It was more about this, I like to call this connectedness or this universal, that putting it out there, putting the message out there and getting that universal energy coming back to you. So we figured, well, because I said, because then the 3 of us started to go, what can we do about your mindset? Actually, he's going, there's nothing wrong with my mindset. He said, it's even, creating an even wider mindset around bringing, that positive, what's it called? Atul, help me out here. When you put it out there and you get things back, there's names for it.
Yeah. Reciprocity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Law of attraction, maybe.
Yeah. So like the secret, the $10,000 check in the post. I said, and then we said, well, with the marketing, we have to actually put the work into that as well. But then it was about, well, but what marketing works for you? You know, some people it's with connections. Faris said he spent a lot of time building connections, like, you know, connecting with people, right? Am I right, Faris? Is that what you said? Yeah. Whew. So it's, you know, it was really interesting that everyone does it differently. But what we all agreed on is that we believe that we have 6-star businesses in our own definition of what a 6-star business is, you know, and you know, for me, it was, well, I'm passionate about it. I love it. I want to do it more every day. I got to do it today. I get to do it tomorrow. And so for me, I think I've already got a 6-star business with not very many processes, but it works, you know. And then, you know, Faris and Atul and Royston were also very passionate about their business. And, you know, Atul talked about really, he talked about your calling into business, you know. And so it's not, you know, for us, it wasn't about connecting as a, you know, Scientology or anything like that. It was really that everybody's understanding of what a 6-star business is different to them.
Great.
I think that was it. Is that right? Is that all right, fellas? Did I do okay?
You did great, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we all can resonate. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Beautifully articulated and presented. Thanks, Kelly. We got room 6, Bella, Andra, Corey, and Matt.
So I was the next birthday next month. We had a really, really interesting conversation. So actually what started out as talking about what we were struggling with, and we based it around what I'd said before around like client alignment, we actually kind of shifted into generally a generalization that if we don't have the right mindset to actually discover that this is something that we want to strive towards, it's that shift to understand internally within ourselves what we're struggling with, but what we see as a 6-star business, we're not going to be able to create it. So we've got to overcome these blockages internally first before we can start looking at our marketing, our purpose, our vision, if we don't realize that that's something that we even want, or what we see that, or what we define that as. So it actually comes back to that internal mindset and working on, okay, what is it that I'm looking for? And I was talking back to my word of the year is expansion, and why I chose expansion as my word of the year. And there's a lot of work that's done internally and the work that you do with clients, but there's always mindset blockages that you help them overcome for them to be able to see the success, or for them to be able to make that change. And if you don't have those changes, or you don't have those transformations, for example, the work that Endra does, it really comes from those changes and those transformations in mindset to be able to see where you can go, or what's stopping you from getting there. And that comes from being a 6-star business. Generally, if you don't have that mindset, or you don't overcome the mindset blockages, you're not going to be able to get there. And then Matt joined a little bit late, but his was all around that pricing and positioning for him as to how he could be a 6-star business, and aligning the value that he's got.
Brilliant. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Thanks, Bella.
Love it. All right, room 7, we got Carrie, Christina, Ramon, and Jennifer.
All right, I'm going to be super quick because I am conscious of the time, and I know a lot of people need to go off at 10. So we also spoke about connections and how connections were important. Initially, we're talking about networking and how networking really stopped or changed with COVID. And then we evolved that conversation really quickly on what really was it for us to be a 6-star business, and what potentially, you know, Kerry, I got really a lot out of the community being here, is that stepping up to become a 6-star business leader, and what that meant, you know, that vulnerability that we share in our community, and that being able to be going beyond networking, going beyond connections, but really being able to step up ourselves to become really inspirational 6-star leaders to ourselves, to the people around us, to showcase that and really, really, really show what it is to step up. Because there's so much, yes, there is mindset, there is all these things, but it's about being able to say, hey, do I have that right mindset? Or hey, do I have limitations maybe on my systems or my networks or all of these things, and being able to share that in a place where you're not judged, you're not feeling in any way vulnerable, but you're empowered by the people that you're surrounding yourself with. You've created this community where you can really step up and become a 6-star leader. So hopefully I've said that as quickly as I possibly can. Let you continue.
Thanks so much. Yes.
Beautiful. All right, we have last but not least, which was the room that I was in with Debbie and Paul. And Paul, you're up to present.
I'll keep it quick too. We talked about networking and collaboration, really in the focus of helping our clients in a wider sense. So when we see problems that our clients are experiencing, but it's not our niche, if we know those reliable network partners that we can help the client become stronger, then they're a better client for all of us then. And that quickly evolved into mindset, which I really was pleased to hear, because I kind of was thinking only in the networking collaboration, but really that's not going to ever happen unless you're in the right mindset. So it's kind of that first step of the process, really, to develop that mindset.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everyone. Do you notice how amazing this kind of the community discussion is? And I bet each of you had your own thoughts about the question I asked, but in conversation, you have new thoughts and different perspectives, and then you share in this group, and there's all these things that you probably never heard of or thought of because we're all different. And I love that. I want to thank you all for that. I've got a little bit more to get through. We are going to finish on time. So here we go. We've got our third poll. I'm going to quickly jump this, and this is an easy one. All right. On a scale of 1 to 5, how important is it for you to create your 6-star business this year, where 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest? Thank you for your quick responses. They're coming in very quick. I like to keep my polls simple. The one answer poll, they're great. I've got a couple more.
Is the clue in the book?
Maybe. All right. Is anyone else still yet to complete the poll? All right. In the interest of time, I'm going to finish it early. All right.
I was looking for 6.
Yes, someone was looking for 6. It's 1 to 5, Steve. We've got 52% people said 5 is the level of importance. 30% said 4, 15% said 3, 4% said 2. So really, I look at that and I go, well, 82% are at 4 and above. In other words, it is a very high priority this year, which is fabulous. And that shows, it tells me that that's why you're here. And it's very important. I wanted to drop in this, and I'll say this very quickly. A few people have touched on this already tonight. So if you were to ask me, Aveline, what would you recommend we start with? I always start with purpose, identifying it. This takes time. You've got to spend time with yourself. You've got to have self-talk happening. You've got to go deep within and ask the questions. Once you've figured that out, that is your reason for being and the meaning and intention for being in your business. You link that to all the aspects of your business, the people, staff, your community, customers, you share it, you talk it. That's part of that magnetism, the attraction that was mentioned tonight. And by tapping into that purpose, it opens avenues up for more good stuff. There's a question I've written down the bottom here, which is, what's one thing you'll do this week to take your business closer to being 6-star? So just think about what you came up with in the breakout rooms for you personally, or maybe other things that you heard others say, but hopefully you've got an idea. And write these down, write down what comes to you and spend time on this. You don't have to share this with us, but if you want to share in the chat, feel free. People keep asking me, Aveline, when is the 6-star community opening? Well, we've had the community around for a long time. We simply closed the doors to new people for a while we figured out how we were going to present to the world and what it was that people really needed. And we are now alive. We're always alive. We're live. We're open. We're going to have fortnightly connecting events where we can connect with each other in a really meaningful way. We've got 5 amazing guest speakers lined up between now and Christmas. And we're going to have 5 roundtable events as well. And this is all about collaboration instead of transacting. What's different about it? Just in a nutshell, very quickly, it's about connecting, supporting, learning, evolving, and sharing. There is an investment, of course. This is value-based. So it's only $79 a month. There is 2 free weeks once you sign up. And I invite you to try it. Come to an event. The team, whoever's, and the community will be there. And I'm really looking forward to it. We have our first experience coming up Wednesday, 8th of March, and we're going to do it in 2 time zones. This is the connecting place. It's all about bringing people together, showcasing one business at a time to showcase what they're working on at the moment. And then people get to go and talk about that in breakout rooms. At the same time, meet others, talk about what that person has just shared, and come back with highlights and insights. We've done this format before, and it's really wonderful. It's a different way to network because it's more about collaborative connecting. The roundtable series will have our first one on the 29th of March. And our experts, the guest speakers, begin very soon. We've got to confirm the dates, but like I said, we've got 5 amazing guests lined up. I'm so excited and humbled by the ones that they've all said yes. So thank you. There's someone on the call tonight who has said yes. And we also have a 6-star program. So like you've all said tonight, there's been elements of this conversation that we all have different perspectives of 6-star and what it means for us. And so where do we start? Is it mindset? Is it this? Is it that? I've been working with someone who's part of the core team, plus the core team. We've been building on this program for a long time. It's not a typical business program. We're going to launch that on the 14th of March just to showcase and explain what it is. It'll start in April. And it's going to expand people's minds about how they approach and how they do business. So I won't say anything more about that now, but that's it in a nutshell. And I want to ask, is there any final questions, any questions that came in the chat, or anyone want to raise the question now? Wow, that's amazing. Or everyone's just really ready to go to the next meeting. All right, this is my final slide. First of all, thank you for coming. It's been wonderful to see you and to share some space with you tonight. Please connect with the others who put their links in the chat. There's mine. There's the bit.ly link to come in and experience the 6-star community. And there's obviously the date of the 14th of March where we'll reveal the 6-star program. If anyone wants the slides or the poll results or any feedback, please click the link in the chat about that as well. Someone should have dropped that in, one of my fellow members. So I'll stop sharing so we can all see each other. And I just want to thank you very, very much. It's been an honor. I love talking 6-star. I could keep talking for hours, but I realize it's now the top of the hour. So thank you all. Have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Lots of love and gratitude.
Thank you, Av.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
See you, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Av.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.